The Soviet Union itself is no more.
The United States military has begun strikes.
Light them all up.
Считаю, что для современного мира однополярная модель не только неприемлема, но и вообще невозможна.
Народные республики Донбасса обратились к России с просьбой о помощи. Мною принято решение о проведении специальной военной операции.
Russian military is taking chips from dishwashers and refrigerators to fix their military hardware. Russia's industry is in tatters.
Putin is now isolated from the world more than he has ever been.
Hi, welcome back to another episode, another day. Day 11, right?
Day 11 or
Day
day 12?
11 of eradicating the Zionist plague from the globe. Thank you, Iran.
I wish it was much sooner than that, but we are continuing.
The work continues. I know you are a little bit not black filled, a little worried, or stressed. I feel a little bit woosa. I think you said that before the stream. Show, sorry, saying you felt a little bit better. Why don't you talk about that a little bit?
I just see that Iran's resisting. I'm proud of it. I'm proud of my people. I'm proud of my nation. I'm proud of all of the technical capabilities of one of the most educated populations in the world that's giving it to the Americans and to the Epstein world order, especially giving it to the Zionist entity. And I love to see somebody fight back. I love to see somebody fight back, especially oppressors.
So I do have a few announcements before we get into the episode. First and foremost, we have a new editor-in-chief. I don't have any of her stuff up here for some reason because I'm terribly and woefully unprepared. That's my fault. But we do have a new editor-in-chief. Kayla Duns is at Substack now. She has previously been with James O'Keefe, and a few other Covert Action Media outlet, and a few other with James O'Keefe before he was MAGA. Let's be clear. Before it became what we know of it now. Anyway, she's our new editor-in-chief over at Substack. There will be a lot more content on there. More sit reps. Ibrahim's sit rep from Southern Lebanon is already uploaded today. So guys, check it out. And it's all still free, but if you feel inclined, please subscribe. It's only $5 a month. Also, we are still working through Yahweh Design by Laurent Goyneau, and we'll be continuing on with this other book, which the title should say enough, but Our God is Your God Too, but He has chosen us. And as well as I really recommend this book, Josh Neal's Understanding Conspiracy Theory. Josh Neal is a fantastic friend of DDG, and totally recommend supporting him. I do want to brag a little bit because I know you're very proud of Iran. Well, I'm very proud of my people, my Iraqi people. Iraq has shown out. I am so tickled about it. I want to read this statement that just came out today, and then we'll go right into the episode. But this statement from the Iraqi resistance gave me life. We warn the individual known as Abu Muhammad al-Jolani Ahmed al-Shara that any hostile movement toward Lebanese territory in coordination with the Zionist American enemy and under any pretext whatsoever will be considered a declaration of war against the entire axis of resistance. The Islamic resistance in Iraq, which made the U.S. occupation forces taste bitter suffering and left the corpses of the ISIS fighters for the wolves of the valleys, is capable of crushing your movement if you become involved in any attempt to target the resistance environment or Hezbollah. We see the treachery of the new authority in Syria and are monitoring its coordination with the enemy. We say clearly, if you dare violate the sovereignty of Lebanon and its patient, resisting people, we will turn your land into an open arena of fire. He who warns has given fair notice.
I agree with you. Iraq showing up, Lebanon is showing up with Hezbollah and the resistance, and I think that we're seeing a pushback against the Epstein world order. I really believe it. And we're seeing.
Oh God! And you know who's not showing up is any of the brain cells of the Americans. They're definitely completely on vacation. Also, I want to tell you guys, we've been repping Shahed since before Shahed was even cool. This has been on our website since 2023, I think. So ddgeopolitics.com/shop. No taxes, no tariffs, free shipping anywhere in the world. There's a lot more merch than that. Most of it is original art. So guys, definitely check that out. But let's get right into
my segment quickly. Let me just
your segment. And then we'll get into Trump.
So
sorry.
I want to, of course, it pains me and with great sorrow to announce the death of Evgeny Viktorovich Nikolaev, also known as Gaiduk. He was a friend of mine, a friend of DD Geopolitics. He was a comrade. I just was with him last month in Donetsk. He was truly one of the great romantic revolutionaries and fighters. He wrote the famous book, My Novorossiya. He's been fighting since 2014. And when I saw him last, I compared him to the Greek hero of the resistance and communist fighter Aris Velouchiotis. They look similar, and he has that great beard. And so when I was with him just a few weeks ago, he took the best care of me. He showed me so much love, like so many other great commanders. He was the commander of the Rodnya unit and in the Wild Division of Donbass, and was also connected with Pyatnashka. And he will be sorely, sorely missed. He's one of the greats of the Russian nation. And when we finally have victory, the victory will be for him and for all of the other great men and women who've fallen in this special military operation and in this war to liberate the Donbass, Novorossiya, and to end Ukrainian fascism once and for all. So that tribute to this great man, I wish I could do more justice to him, but I'm sure when we are riding into Kiev and into Odessa, that justice will be done.
I want to give a shout out to my friend Jason in Lebanon. I haven't seen you in very long. I'm glad to see you're still around and still updating. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let's start off with the ugly. The good, the bad, and the ugly. We'll start off with the ugly. Here is we've been dwelling on this school thing on purpose, and I'm going to continue doing that. But what do we know now is that these weapons were found with American components in it, NATO components in them. And so these are the weapons that fell on the school in Mineb. Here's another visual of that. As you can see, Ball Aerospace and Technology Corps, obviously not an Iranian. Most of Iranian ballistics and artillery and all of it is indigenous. Very few of it, very, very little is made outside of the country. And what is definitely not made in the West. But what did Trump say?
You just suggested that Iran somehow got its hands on a Tomahawk and bombed its own elementary school on the first day of the war. But you're the only person in your government saying this. Even your defense secretary wouldn't say that when he was asked, standing over your shoulder on your plane on Saturday. Why are you the only person saying this?
Because I just don't know enough about it. I think it's something that I was told is under investigation. But Tomahawks are used by others, as you know. Numerous other nations have Tomahawks. They buy them from us. But I will certainly, whatever the report shows, I'm willing to live with that report.
Let's unpack this. Okay, so first of all, he admits that it was a Tomahawk that hit the school. That's it. That's an admission that a Tomahawk has hit the school. Whether or not he realizes that that was a huge mess up or misstep, and then tries to say, well, a lot of people have Tomahawks. Well, they actually don't. And Iran definitely doesn't have them. And then he kind of implies that they may have stolen them from someone. And even if they did steal a Tomahawk, they have no means to launch it. Why would they launch? None of this even makes sense. None of it even makes sense. People twisting themselves in pretzels. I heard it again this morning. And now I'm hearing the excuse that there were weapons in the school. We addressed this the last time. Why would a very established nation state need to hide weapons in a school? That'd be like the United States hiding weapons in a school. You think that Iranians hid weapons? Iranians don't have an Epstein file with all their kids in it.
No.
So you think who do you think is more likely to tag a school? The United States of foreign children or Iranians of their own children? This is very retarded that I even need to have this conversation with people. That this is even something that Americans need to wrap their minds around. That they would suggest that anybody would kill their own children to despite the Americans. Are you sick in the fucking head? You're sick in the head.
And not only that, I read the report today from some mainstream outlets that were saying that according to some officials who were unnamed that are close to the investigation, what they're saying now with the investigation is those buildings prior to this war and a few years before belonged to the military base, and then they converted them to a school, which for me still doesn't really add up. But they said that this was Defense Intelligence Agency target packages that were not vetted with contemporary data, which is a nice, like, you know, and I know because we were in the military, it's a nice way to cover and kind of put it in a nice box and have a bow tie and say, actually, it wasn't our problem. It was faulty intelligence. Right.
Don't you love that the Israelis were very happy to immediately be like, America did it. It was the Americans that did it.
For sure.
And then these assholes, this is another thing that they're going to start doing, try to pass the buck off to fucking AI.
Yeah, like exactly. AI did it.
And not only that, they named the AI that's been named public enemy #1. It was Claude. How weird. It was Claude that did it. So Claude, the evil French AI, who, by the way, I love Claude. Claude, if you're listening, thank you for being a friend. But they blame the French persona non grata, bot non grata AI, and then say that that's the reason. Like, it's like all over the place. Nobody can give me a coherent reason. And then there's the other people that say it's fine because they were, well, the Tucker Carlson, and I cut that up. It's on the big account. Maybe I'll play some clips here, but he did talk about it in his monologue and how, you know what, I will find some of those clips while we're watching these others. Here is Pete Hegseth on the United States record. Chris is going to love this one. We'll just play it and then we'll let Chris crash out.
I'm already seething.
No nation takes more precautions to ensure there's never targeting of civilians than the United States of America. from the boat strikes in the Caribbean, where every single strike is assessed to this campaign here, no nation in the history of warfare has ever attempted in every way possible to avoid civilian casualties. And frankly, that's a point that just isn't appreciated enough. Where things happen that need to be investigated, we will investigate to the question shouted in the back. That it's not, open source is not the place to determine what did or did not happen. We take things very, very seriously and investigate them thoroughly, which takes time, and which is why it does take time. But ultimately, unlike Iran, who targets civilians indiscriminately, who we've seen in the intel moving rocket launchers into civilian neighborhoods, near schools, near hospitals, to try to prevent our ability to strike. That's how they operate. And then they set, the targeting of drones and missiles toward civilian targets, hospitals, hotels, airports. CENTCOM's been very good about putting that information out. That's how terrorist regimes fight. They target civilians. We do not. And I can tell you this administration and this Pentagon focuses on that very, very closely.
Pete Hegseth, couldn't refrain from cheating on his wife while she was pregnant with his child, cares about children.
Where to begin? Where to begin? Do we begin at the genocide of the indigenous people? Do we begin at like the fire bombings, the 2 atomic bombs that were used? Do we begin at the My Lai massacre in Vietnam? Do we begin at the bunker that was hit and targeted by the US that melted the fat of hundreds of Iraqis? Do we begin at the starving of 500,000 Iraqi children with sanctions? Do we begin with the rape and torture of an entire family during the Iraq War? I don't know. Where do we begin with the trafficking of women from the former Yugoslavia, from Eastern Europe through NATO bases? Like, we don't target civilians. No, because you don't see anybody as civilians. That's the truth. If you want to read the line, only American, and not only all Americans, because the US has targeted American citizens in drone strikes before, without due process of law, in violation of everything that the US is supposedly supposed to stand for. But read deeper. Some lives matter, most lives do not. And that's the reality of it. And many of our friends, including my friend and comrade, and he's like a father figure to me, George Galloway, would always say the blood of Israelis, for example, and I would say the blood of Americans is worth more than the blood of any other people. And that's a fact. That's a fact. And that's the reality. So this is just it's utter bullshit, in my opinion.
I forget the ratio, but there's a ratio of Americans to Israelis. I think it's one Israeli life is worth like 40 or 50 Americans, something like that. It's something obscene like that.
That is an obscene number, for
anyway,
sure.
Here's Trump on the school today. I haven't seen this clip yet. I'm kind of off to a late start. This time change is kind of kicking my ass. But here, let's see what he said today.
Report shows, a new report says that the military investigation has found that the United States struck the school in Iran. As Commander-in-Chief, do you take responsibility for that?
That is what?
As Commander-in-Chief, do you...
For what?
For the strike on the school in Iran. A new report says the military investigation has found it was the United States that struck the school.
I don't know about it.
Are you the president? How do you respond to that?
It was Iran's Tomahawk. It wasn't our strike. We didn't do it. It was a rogue IRGC misfire. And now I don't know anything about it. I have, it's like, old people sometimes they do this. They're like, I can't hear so well. And next thing you know, in the next room, they're like station chief. And they're like, oh, my memory. Meanwhile, they know every penny they ever gave you, and they'll always bring it up. Do you remember when I loaned you $12.56 when you were 6 years old to go buy ice cream and a candy bar? And I'm like, why is that important to remember? Because remember, I have always sacrificed for you. See, look at this. This is gaslighting the American people. But I think that right now, at least one good thing I can say, mainstream media is not letting the story die. They are not letting the story die. And a lot of people are putting a lot of pressure. So just FYI, somebody's gonna have to be held accountable at some point. I don't know in which way, and I'm hopeful that it will be in the way that I desire. but somebody's going to have to be held accountable.
And that's the thing. And maybe we could have that discussion another time. I've even said to our producer, I was like, how? Who holds these demons accountable?
I mean, some people have gone to Leavenworth, but it's very hard. It's very hard to do. Very hard to do.
Pete Hegseth needs to be on an island. He needs to be in Seacot.
He needs to be in Siberia. We have a nice spot for him.
I do want to play Tucker Carlson's clip. It's a little bit long, but
yeah,
I had a breaking point with this country. The genocide, I was on I shouldn't even say this because this is horrible, but the genocide, I was like, all right. But once the Maduro kidnap happened, I was like, that's it. We're done. There's nothing left to even redeem. And I think that Tucker Carlson had a bit of that moment with the school bombing. I wanted to address somebody in the comments was saying, he said AI must have been a mistake. He's being sarcastic. Didn't you kind of pick that up? He's like, it couldn't have been Americans. We would never do that. It must have been AI. So it was him being, he's not suggesting that AI did it. Okay, here's the clip where he's talking about honor and lack thereof.
So the key, really, whether you think this is insane, as a lot of people do, probably the majority of the country believes that, or you think it's necessary, some people do believe that, Fox News viewers believe that, Democratic leaders believe that in the House and Senate. But no matter what side you're on, the United States needs to behave with honor. Now, why is that? Because that's the whole point of being the United States. You can't have wars in a democratic republic or in a country where the people supposedly rule, where their consent is necessary, whether it is or not. That's what we tell ourselves. You can't have wars unless you believe that you are, on the deepest level, better than the people you're fighting. We're not savages. They are. Therefore, we get to kill them. And we've always told ourselves that, and in some cases it has been absolutely true. Whether we can kill them or not is another question. It's a moral question, but as a sort of matter of civic engagement, the population has to believe they're better than the people they're fighting, or else you can't have the war. And you're really sort of flirting with revolution at that point, and we don't want that. So in order to believe you're better than your opponent, you have to be. You have to behave with honor. And so, for example, if innocents are killed, girls at a school, to name a current example, you have to believe that it was accidental, and you have to say out loud that was wrong. And in this specific case, the bombing of a girls' school next to an Iranian naval base that was apparently the school of choice for officers at the naval base. These were the children, the daughters of the people we're fighting. You have to believe that was accidental. Despite the fact it was hit twice, 40 minutes apart, looks very much like a double tap, which is to say a bombing and then an attack on the people coming to rescue the injured. That's what it looks like. But as an American, you have to believe this was a tragic mistake. But we have to verify that. We have to know for certain that it was in order to keep our honor. Because if you wake up in the morning and you're living in the kind of country that thinks it's okay to kill not simply military officers, but their daughters, that country's not worth fighting for.
So understand what he's saying. He's saying you have to lie to yourself. And if the president is not willing to say, we did it, it was a mistake, and do the honorable, even though that's not very honorable in and of itself. We know it wasn't a mistake because of the double tap. But the fact that that's what Tucker's pointing out is that we have to lie to ourselves every single day just to get through this and not revolt. Do you guys kind of understand what he's getting at? It's there. He's kind of kidding the square. He's like going around the issue, trying to point out how ridiculous this is. You have to lie to yourself and pretend it was an accident, even though they bombed it 40 minutes apart. See how asinine it is?
Absolutely. You have to create a disconnect. You have to sort of go outside of yourself and your entire thinking process to be able to justify or to be able to understand how this could happen in the first place. Because all the myth making, all the narratives that have been constructed tell Americans, we would never do this. This is not possible. We are not like them, right? the Zionists do it to their own people as well. Although in their case, even if they did it because they believe everyone's Amalek, then it's still justified.
Mm-hmm.
It's still justified. Who cares about their girls? Who cares? In the Old Testament, it says, smash the babies on the rock. And that's even younger children. Justified.
Go read the Talmud, what it says about kids. Good luck not having nightmares after that.
Yikes.
Anyway, we won't talk about that. We'll get banned. Yeah, if I read you the Talmud, I'd get banned on YouTube. Anyway, let's stick to the what's not so esoterical. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. We're up to the point of like to be or not to be at this point. Chris Murphy walks out of the closed meeting yesterday, and every day I don't know why, but I hope for some sort of enlightenment on this war. But we're not getting any. Neither is Chris Murphy.
I just came from a 2-hour closed-door classified briefing on the war. It just confirmed to me it's totally incoherent. We are not going to be able to achieve any of our stated objectives. But I mention it because it's another closed-door briefing. We have still not yet heard a full explanation as to why this is necessary. We still have had no hearings in front of Congress that the public can see. And I think that's pretty simple, because if the president did what the Constitution says, come to Congress to get authorization for this war, he wouldn't get it. The American people would demand that their member of Congress, their senator, whether they be a Republican or Democrat, vote no, because this is a disaster of epic proportions. It's already getting Americans killed. It's driving up prices here at home. Harder line leadership, more antithetical to U.S. interests, are strengthening inside Iran. And there's really no way that we're going to be able to destroy their nuclear program, because most of it is buried underground, unless we mount a ground invasion, which would be even more disastrous and more unpopular. This has just been a debacle, a 10-day debacle. And we're going to use whatever leverage we have in the Senate to try to prompt those hearings, to try to prompt that vote, and to get this administration to start paying attention to the Constitution.
I love these people live in a fantasy land. Leverage over whom? We don't have leverage over Israel. It's done. The jig is up. Trump cannot stop Bibi Netanyahu. What are you going to do to stop Trump?
And if you stop Bibi Netanyahu, or you want to stop him, what do they say?
They're going to nuke. They're going to nuke us or themselves.
Even before that, they just say anti-Semitism, so everybody stays in line. No, really. If, for example, I'm a politician, I say, "Excuse me, I don't like what's going on in Israel." You're being anti-Semitic, because now they've equated the and criticism of the state of Israel, as we've been saying all along. The IHRA definition: anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism. If you criticize, and even they sometimes say, you can criticize Netanyahu, it's okay. But actually, when you do, excuse me, are you being anti-Semitic? He's the leader of a free nation. He's the leader of the only free democracy in the Middle East. They have gay rights there. Okay? So there you go. That's the reality. That's what we're living with. And isn't it funny? I don't know if this is true, but I know that we had discussed it previously, but I'm interested in it. That when Iran burned the Baal statue, some Israeli commentator said that it could be construed as anti-Semitism.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It's true.
Yeah. I mean, I watched a Jew have a nail in his tire, and he told me that it was anti-Semitism. So there's this video. He goes and he says the nail in his tire, and he goes, "Now this could be an anti-Semitic attack. Is it? I don't know. But the fact that I would need to think about it means that anti-Semitism is too prevalent." This is where we're at. So yes, the Baal statue burning, because they could just they could construe it as what the meaning behind it was anti-Semitic. They're crazy. These people are psychotic.
Remember Eve Fartlow, free parking? And
I was making fun of her yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, these people, they're just.
Tell the viewers, people probably don't remember free parking.
Yeah. So there was a moment during the genocide in Gaza where Eve was, I think, is somewhere in Canada. I don't remember.
A few years ago. It wasn't this genocide. It was the other one.
Sorry, it was another episode. And
the last genocide.
And she said, I was going to the car and I saw the sign for free parking and I thought I said free Palestine. And the
Jews are tired.
We're tired. We're tired. I'm like, the fuck? It's a free parking sign. Fuck you.
They can't play Monopoly anymore. Their favorite board game.
You know what? We're tired of Epstein's. I'm just saying we're tired. We're tired.
I've got evangelical and Jew fatigue like you wouldn't even believe. I'm like chugging espresso at this point. The evangelical fatigue with me. Protestants, I'm coming for you.
Listen,
I'm done with the Jews for a bit. I'm coming for you Protestants. You guys are a shit show.
Protestants have got to go down. So today I was on Andrei Afanasiev's program Spas. So I went to the Spas studio today.
Okay.
And I did a live interview on and you know what they said? They said it's sensitive for us to talk about Zionism because the Russian Orthodox Church has churches in Israel. Of course, they have like historic churches from like Ottoman times, from Byzantine times. Sure. And they said they're fearful that the government is going to start closing them up and seizing property. And I said,
the Armenians.
It's only a matter of time. They're coming for the Armenians, the Assyrians, the Ethiopians, the Greeks.
This is what the Russians do. We'll just wait. We don't want them to come after us. They're going to when they run out of other people.
So they asked me, they said, we want you to give your opinion. I gave them fucking nails. I gave them fire and brimstone. And they were like, on TV, they were like, we can't say that, but you can. I said, absolutely, I'm going to say it. Absolutely. Welcome.
Yeah, I'm not a Russian Orthodox. I'm Greek. Let it fly.
That's right. They're like, actually, he's part of the Greek Orthodox Church. And I'm like, yeah, you can deal with Theophilus over there.
Yeah, right. Good luck. Good luck. The Russian Orthodox might still be tiptoed around, but the Greeks certainly are not.
No, fuck no. They're already taking stuff. No.
Let's move on to the other Jew that from one Jew to the other has no idea. Neither Trump nor, by the way, Trump has tried to lay this whole entire thing, even the school bombing, on the laps of Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff, which I just love because nobody's going to call them out or anything and whatever. Anyway, here we go.
So how do you see this ending, this war?
I don't know, Sarah. I know this, that President Trump is the wrong guy to go up against. That's what I know.
I don't know.
Nobody knows the goals anymore. They're no longer even talking about nuclear.
What goals? What goals?
And let's go to the other clueless retard. This is how retarded these people are. These feckless, moronic people. I'm not, like we said last week, I'm not filing taxes. I'm not doing anything for this fucking state ever again. This other one, fucking Chris Wright, posts this lie. Why does he do this? Because oil prices were soaring.
So they're going to soar. They're going to soar. These guys,
they're gonna play they play these Mickey Mouse games every fucking day. So the oil price is soaring. Excuse my language. I get mad about this market manipulation stuff. So he makes this stupid tweet about the Navy successfully escorting tanks through the Strait of Hormuz, and then the market immediately begins to reflect that.
Yep.
Guy, and like it's like, I mean, people, our viewers know, most people were ready, we're picking it up anyway. We're like, what the hell is going on? And it's like, and then they went to address it again, and they're like, oh, we had no idea why you said that. And then the Navy had to come out and say, there's no way we can even attempt to escort people through this strait. But you know what is happening? Iran is exporting more oil than ever. So it's like, what is the reason? Like, no, we don't know our goals. We don't know how this will end. We're bombing schools. There's still a Khamenei in the supreme leadership spot, and they're running more oil than ever. What have we done, Americans? Can we declare, what was the thing? Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished. George Bush, big banner on the aircraft carrier. I'd like to declare combat operations have ended. And I'm like, oh, really? Here's some roadside bombs for you.
Well, let's talk about that for a second. I didn't upload any of the videos, but if you guys have a minute, go look up the videos of, he did an interview with CNN Khazari. And he talks about, like, we're waiting for them. We will not be asking for ceasefires. I've heard that actually Trump is asking for a ceasefire over and over and over again. Yeah. And they're being denied. And I find that incredibly, the Iranians, not as much. Arabs can be a little headstrong too, even if they are losing, they'll keep fighting. But for Iran to be like, we're not even interested in picking up the phone, I'm like, this must be going a lot better for Iran than even I think. And I'm a cope artist with Iran. I'm like, Iran's winning the whole war, everything. So I'm like, wow. Let's talk about that for a minute. We got Trump kind of begging for mercy. They're manipulating the oil markets just to kind of stay afloat. They're scared shitless of the midterms. They're doing anti-Semitism conferences left and right. Let's take a look at what's going on in Tel Aviv. This was I mentioned the Planet Labs thing. Planet Labs is now on a 14-day delay. 14-day delay. I think prior to this, they were all on 96 hours for their satellite imagery. 14-day delay. I've never heard of that.
Wow.
Never heard of that. It must be horrendous at the American bases and in Israel.
Woo.
Not that satellite imagery over Israel is very reliable to begin with, but
Yeah.
They do manipulate that. But yeah, let's show you. This is from BBC Persian. So this guy is a straight up monarchist. So don't get the wrong idea. But I did take it from Persian because I wanted to use him specifically because he seemed the most truthful out of the sort of Western people. But here he is in Tel Aviv.
نیم ساعت پیش بود که یک حمله دیگر ایران صورت گرفت. این پنجمین حمله بود طی روز در واقع که طی 7-8 ساعت شما فرض کنید حدود هر 2 ساعت یک بار یک حمله موشکی بوده. چیز جالب این که حزب الله هم 2 تا موشک همین 2 ساعت پیش به طرف تل آویو شلیک کرد که اینها به گفته مقام‌های اسرائیل از لابلای این به اصطلاح سپر دفاع هوایی اسرائیل گذشت و یکیش در حدود 20 کیلومتری 30 کیلومتری جنوب شرق اینجا روی به زمین خورد و یکی هم ظاهراً در بیت المقدس که این هم تازه است از این نظر که بیت المقدس محل مسجد الاقصی است و شهر جمعیت بزرگی مسلمان داره. معمولاً ایران یا حزب الله به اونجا شلیک نمی‌کنن، اما امروز مثلا که یکی از موشک‌های حزب الله به اونجا هم رسیده که اینم نشون میده که موشک‌های حزب الله دارن به اصطلاح برد بیشتری پیدا می‌کنن. رسیدن موشک به اینجا به تل آویو و بیت المقدس یه چیز نمیگم بی سابقه است اما تازه است در این جنگ اخیر و صحبت طرف اسرائیلی اینه که این 2 موشک از لابلای سپر دفاعی گذشتن. اینم داشته باشیم که وقتی این 2 موشک شلیک شدن نه اخطاری ما گرفتیم در روی تلفن‌های موبایلمون و نه آژیر خطری شنیده شد که این هم خودش جالبه و خطر این موشک‌های حزب الله اینه که فاصله بسیار کمه. تقریبا نیمی از این موشک‌های ایران کلاهک‌های خوشه‌ای دارن که 10 شاید 50-60 تا بمب‌های کوچک توشه و وقتی این موشک‌ها هدف قرار می‌گیره این موشک‌های کوچیک آزاد میشن و بر روی یک منطقه وسیع پایین میان و خرابی زیادی تولید.
And so we know that Hezbollah has been absolutely annihilating them in southern Lebanon and the north. I did another I didn't upload it because it's the northern Israelis, but they're complaining as well. They're saying they've left us here to die. We're being used as cannon fodder. It's cheaper to let us just die instead of actually evacuating us. So they're not happy either, being on the front line. Let's take a look at what Tel Aviv looks like today. If you guys are looking for footage of Tel Aviv, you're going to be a little bit hard pressed to find it, but do go look for Iranian, Chinese, Russian sources. Sometimes, usually Chinese is the one releasing them, most of them. I believe this was released by Chinese news. I don't really like to take pleasure in people's suffering, so I'll just remain indifferent to it, but I don't care. I really don't give a shit.
What's the line? What's Pete Hegseth's famous quote?
FAFO.
FAFO, you know? So
I don't give a shit. Not even one bit. And anybody that's still left in Israel is a fucking maniac anyway. You should go down with shit.
actually, there was I don't know if this is true, but I read a report today that some Israelis are telling like pollsters and things and different media outlets that Netanyahu is the worst thing to ever happen to Israel.
Yeah.
So,
His approval ratings are around 25%, but the home front, you got to look at them in sections because cumulatively they have a decent approval rating altogether, but the government is sitting in the 20s and 30s and the home front's at like 70.
oh wow. So you can see the difference.
Yeah, they really don't like Bibi Netanyahu. We also have all those weird rumors. Maybe we should address some of those. I do have the confirmation on Smotrich's son he was severely hurt by Hezbollah. Some sort of shrapnel did tear through his liver. That's a serious injury. An injury to a liver is always incredibly serious. I don't have any update on his status today, but he was serious or stable yesterday. And so there's Smotrich. Then we have Ben Gvir. I have told these Israelis they have 48 hours to give me proof of life. Yesterday they gave me a post. I said, okay, we'll reset the clock, but that doesn't count as proof of life. So all Ben Gvir has done lately is put a post on his X account. As far as I know, there's been no visuals or live statements. I've also heard that his house was not hit, but I've heard that it was. Again, it's hard to get information in and out of Israel. I'm just giving you everything that I got. They also did bomb that special bunker that was reserved for like Israeli officials. So that's gone as well. I don't know if anybody was in it. There's also rumors that Bibi Netanyahu's brother is deceased.
Yeah.
I think that might actually be true.
Really?
Yeah. And so that's what's going on in those kind of counts. We have nothing refuting Ben Gvir. Smotrich just confirmed Bibi is the Bibi brother. We don't know. Nothing's really been debunked, to let you know. Like there's nothing. Ben Gvir was injured in a car crash. Yeah, that's coming from the BBC. Ben Gvir has been since I've been reporting on this genocide alone. I think Ben Gvir has been in 3 car accidents.
Really?
Yeah, he gets injured, he gets to a fight, and they say he got a car accident.
I think we got to take somebody's license, that's for sure.
Well, it was his driver the one time. Anyway, glory to Hezbollah. Everybody thought they were sleeping. The pager incident was going to take them out for good, but let's take a look at what they're up to today.
איציק, הלך הבאגה. לאיפה נופלים? תראה. תסתכל ימינה, נופלים פה איתה. לא! יו. וואו. נפל פה, אמא. איזה נפילה. נפל פה, כן. נפל. עוד אחד. מלא, אחי. תראה את השמיים. נפל.
That's all Hezbollah.
Hezbollah has launched, I think, the largest sortie of rockets tonight since this began.
It's got a name. It's got a good name. The Devouring Wind.
Yes. We need more devouring winds. We got to destroy Epsteinism once and for all.
Devouring Wind. So Hezbollah is messing them up in the north. When we started streaming, Iran was launching toward the south. We also finally got an appearance from Yaruski, Russian drones.
Yeah?
Yes, CNN talking about Russian drones in Iran. Let's take a look.
Yeah, I mean, this is a key development, potentially. According to a Western intelligence official I spoke to, Russia started out with what they refer to as more general support. This official says it's now getting, quote, more concerning, and they're now giving drone targeting strategies that Russia employed in Ukraine. Now, the official doesn't specify exactly what we're talking about here, but we've seen Russia in Ukraine use waves of drones, sometimes 1,000 drones fired in one night at Ukraine. They weave, seem to be going in one direction, head in another. I've seen them even on radars doing loops in groups to make the job of air defenses yet more complex. And every single week, the Russians learn something more about what the Ukrainians have got in air defense terms to take down the Russian drones, and the Ukrainians learn about Russian tactics. They talk about a 6-week innovation cycle. It's an extraordinarily sophisticated fight every night over the skies of Ukraine. And what we're essentially talking about here is the possibility that the Russians have taken that 3 years of know-how and sophistication and handed it to Iran here in the past 10, 11 days of the battle here. Now that's key, because we are seeing where you are, near the Emirates in Dubai, 4 injured from drones coming through. A lot of the success of Iran's attacks seem to have revolved around the use of drones. And so perhaps these tactics, as advanced as they really are, constantly shifting as they are helping them elude air defenses. We also know that Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has said that Russia is assisting Iran with drones. Indeed, he sent experts to Gulf nations, including here, Jordan, to assist with drone air defenses. And look, remember, Ukraine, to take down these $30,000 Shahids mass-produced, is now mass-producing $5,000 tiny interceptor drones that are proving very effective and certainly very cost effective. So it's a sign here potentially that we're seeing Russia moving from the early warnings we got from US officials about exactly what they were doing, providing satellite images, sort of general assistance, to specific real-time, up-to-the-minute battlefield-style tactical advice to the Iranians, according to this official that I spoke to.
Why do these people make me do this with them? Like, we're gonna be like, oh, the Russians are giving them targeting. You had an AWACS flying over the Black Sea for the last 3 years. I watched 4 years. We've watched it.
Is this a trust me, bro moment? Like, what is the, like, what's the source? Where is he getting this stuff? He's just plucking it from.
Why Russia too, when they know China's giving them way more targeting? They don't want the smoke from China. They don't want that smoke. They're trying to do this excuse. They have this stupid transnational war machine between the Ukrainians and the Israelis. So they got to get that all joined up and functioning together.
To me, it's just nuts that people can just spew this garbage on TV. But then again, nothing surprises me over the past decades. But they can just go up there. And he's manufacturing this story because Zelensky's out there like, oh, they're posting. Did you see Ukrainian posts? We've accepted all of these things. Like, we just need a little amount of patriots to do a really big job.
Yeah. And here comes Zelensky to the rescue. It's his time to shine.
I said it, that we will have World War III. The president didn't hear me, and with his guys, maybe they heard and etc. But I'm not sure that they can estimate that. For example, Russia began with a weapon. Russia began to support with drones. And it definitely will help with missiles. And 100% it's helping now with air defense. So it means what next? In such situation, the question is only one. When first country will support to send troops? Like with Russia, when North Korea sent 10,000. 10,000 North Korean soldiers are standing now on the territory of Russia. Yes, they are on the territory of Russia, but they can come to Ukraine. So it can be the same with Iran. Russia can send troops.
And don't fret. The Ukrainian experts have already landed in the Gulf and all around. So to the rescue, they will be able to intercept those Shahed drones with their jars of pickled tomatoes.
Also, yes, DPRK soldiers are in Russia. They have a strategic part. They have like the highest level defense treaty. They can be there. There are U.S. advisors in Ukraine. Nobody's saying anything about that. And British ones.
Doesn't count.
Doesn't count. No, doesn't count.
I don't even know what this video is. But the title is Ursula Hates Europeans. Well, we already showed you that the Trump administration hates the shit out of Americans. Zelensky absolutely hates Ukrainians. I can't imagine that the Zionist regime, the Israeli regime, loves Israelis either. But here's this title is Ursula Hates Europeans.
Yet in current crisis, some argue that we should abandon our long-term strategy and even go back to Russian fossil fuels, this would be a strategic blunder. It would make us more dependent, more vulnerable and weaker.
Yes! Destroy the EU! Yes!
Russia's taking out NATO. They're now taking out the EU. Iran's about to take out the Arab League and the Abraham Accords.
Yes.
Burn it all to the ground.
That's it. We're remaking. Listen, we didn't say the multipolar world was going to be born easy.
Mm-mm.
No. There you have it.
I think that's all. And guys, it doesn't end at Iran. You get that, right? We thought that the clean break was, by the way, I've been reading up on clean break a lot lately, more about the symbolism of it. I didn't realize that they named 7 nations on purpose because in the Bible, it says Yahweh will destroy the 7 nations. It's Yahweh, not will destroy the 7 nations. And so that's why they chose 7 countries. They didn't even want Lebanon and Somalia on there. They just had to make the number 7.
Wait, really? You mean the Wesley Clark thing?
Yeah. And Wesley Clark lied about his name, right? Wesley Clark is the son of a rabbi.
Wait, what?
Yeah. His last name is Kanne. Well, it's not his real name. Everything is fake and gay.
Oh my God. I'm just.
But anyway, after the clean break is done, and you guys know clean break meant the clean break from Oslo. The Oslo Accords that were supposed to be, peace for land, and we're going to work things out. Clean break means no peace, no land, war, and we take back everything. So here's what they want to do after they're done with Iran.
Let me just ask you whether there's a risk of further confrontation with Turkey based on comments that you've said in the past.
Well, we need to ensure that Erdogan doesn't create a new alliance of radical Islam Sunni version, meaning an axis between himself, Julani, Qatar, and Hamas. We've been facing for many decades the Shiite radical Islam, and I hope that Turkey doesn't choose to foment terror and Islamism in its power. It's up to Turkey ultimately. If they seek peace, we definitely want peace. But if they try and surround us with terror, we will not sit idle.
Okay, just so I wanted to make sure I wasn't lying to you guys. Yes, General Wesley Clark's real name is Wesley Kahn, born in Chicago to Benjamin Jacob Kahn. And then he changed his name later and adopted Clark.
Why would he do that?
I don't know. Why would he do that? Why would he feel the need to hide his Jewishness in the 90s? We weren't anti-Semitic then.
No, God, no. It's a way up the ladder.
Yeah. Why did he feel the need to that? Why are we playing crypto games with General Clark? And don't forget, who elevated General Clark? Amy friggin' Goodman, Democracy Now!
They ended up going real bad.
Yeah. So we'll just leave all of that alone. But you guys know what we're trying to say. It's all fake and gay. Turkey's on the menu next. Guys, Muslim Brotherhood Alliance and the fever dream of Israelis.
But you know what's surprising to me? Didn't the Israelis and the Americans make all of these jihadist groups in their alphabet soup of names? I mean, yes. It just doesn't, this is just part of the program. This is just the expansion. That's it. We got to take everybody out. Everybody who's strong, we got to take them out.
Literally.
And if you don't acquiesce to us, if you're not a good vassal, we're coming for you.
And what do we do? That's a NATO ally.
That's a good question.
They have our nukes.
I will say this as a Greek. The Israelis are spending so much money on propaganda and bots and all this shit to try to foment a war between, first of all, Greece via Cyprus and North Cyprus, so Turkey. And also, there are bot accounts just saying, take back Constantinople. And I'm like, whoa. First of all,
Greek's going to do it alone.
First of all, I'm Greek. I grew up with the city, Ipoli, like this was like a big thing. This is the only city in the world that we just call the city, and everybody knows what you're talking about. Pupas, Paustipoli. Like that they're speaking more often than not about Constantinople, about Istanbul. But now they're trying to foment this kind of stuff, and they're trying to garner support and things like that. And I don't know, it just seems to be the manufacturing of another war in the Eastern Mediterranean. And the Israelis are not going to die for it.
No.
Oh, come on.
Not till later. Not till Mashiach comes back.
Correct.
I gotta wait. I do want to play you this.
I thought the Lubavitch say that
the Rebbe.
The Rebbe was
Rebbe. Mendel, Menachem, Shneas, and Baruch Hashem.
He's come.
And then Jacob Frank, and then Zabbatai Zevi, all of them, right? They're all the Mashiach at some point. Anyway, speaking of Mashiachs, here's the Antichrist. He has no idea what he's doing.
Yes. You just said it is a little excursion, and you said it is a war. So which one is it?
Well, it's both. It's both. It's an excursion that will keep us out of a war, and the war is going to be. For them, it's a war. For us, it's turned out to be easier than we thought.
It's an excursion and a war.
It's an you've called it both an excursion and a war. It's an excursion to end a war or to not.
It's a side quest.
Yeah, it's a side. Like what?
What a retard.
First of all, excursion. I've never heard that terminology. Excursion.
Yeah.
Hey guys, we're going on an excursion.
Yeah, to carpet bomb a capital of a sovereign state, civilizational state.
We're on an excursion to bomb little girls. What is this? But you can tell that this MAGA was a psyop. They just suck it up. A lot of them, they love it.
When we found that stuff in the FC files, like, it all made sense.
It all made sense. Like we have a much clearer picture now.
Mm-hmm.
We might not have all the files, but we have a much clearer picture.
Oh yeah, and it keeps getting clearer. I think we're going to end there. Chris, are you streaming today?
I am not streaming today. I'm going to stream tomorrow. So everybody, check it out tomorrow. And let's go through the super chats because we got a lot of love. A lot of love.
I'm fuzzy balls. Like, seriously? All of USA girlfriends in the Middle East learned the hard way that they were just side chicks all along. Used to call Israel the alt account, but I don't even think that they're an alt. We're just one account now, but yeah. They were all just side chicks.
I think they're the main account and we're the delegated account.
Sometimes I do think that's what's going on now.
Yeah, I mean, it's come on.
They were just side chicks, just like them hoes in Dubai. There's some hoes in this house. There's some hoes in this house. Don't give us all of your tax return, dude. Like, go buy your kids some ice creams for the apocalypse. Like, they need to have some snacks and stuff to watch when the mushroom cloud hits.
Oh God.
It was a double tap with the thermobaric, so the children. Yes, it was a double tap for the ambulances and the parents, and the teachers that went to go help. So yes, but we don't bomb children. It was worth it, right? I don't know why this is starred, but how many synagogues have condemned the attack on the girls' school? A whole zero. Maybe the synagogue in Iran did.
I started because I think it's an amazing. Like every time there's an attack and somebody claims it in the name of Islam, everyone's like, have all the mosques condemned it? But now you have this, and it's like, and it's a good question. Have the synagogues condemned this?
Are you kidding me? You get a Muslim in a country in like London will rape someone, and then they'll ask a Muslim in Houston to answer for it. These people are psychotic. These people with their double standards.
Everybody asked this question of everybody.
I was so sure that Wyckoff and Kusher were going to negotiate a fair peace deal. Guys, go watch. So tonight, Tucker Carlson's going to come on with, or his show, I believe, is going to come out tonight with Carrie Prejean Bowler. New
Yep.
national hero, new Catholic Wonder Woman or whatever she's up to. But I'll try to cover that in a space tonight or tomorrow. But 2 nights ago, the clip that I just posted from, watch his monologue. It was a show with Douglas McGregor. I didn't watch the Douglas McGregor segment, but the monologue in the beginning, he talks about the honor. He talks about the World War. And then he talks about the peace process and why we can't even enter into any anymore.
Yeah.
I know your comment was sarcastic, but it made me think of that. But yeah, peace process. I mean, what we're going to continue to send Wickoff and Kushner to go negotiate with Russians. What a fucking joke.
Come on.
Uncle Haas.
I'm done.
You have to bring Haas on your show. Yeah,
I will.
Two crazy Iranians.
For sure.
I don't know if Ben-Gvir is still alive. I have no proof of life. They have another 48 hours since the post yesterday. So they have another 24 hours to give me proof of life, or I'm just going to start posting that he's dead and they'll have to answer me.
That's right.
Exactly. And we were saying that about Russia. It was much more difficult to argue that about Russia when Russia was in its war. One, because Western propaganda pro-NATO was very strong. NATO was not nearly as outwardly nefarious as Israel. And Russia has a bad rap in the West.
Correct.
We've been saying this for years. World War III started when the first Ukrainian counteroffensive failed, and the West knew that it was either all in or we're going to have to let Russia take Ukraine, and they went all in, and that is when World War III began. So, yes, Iran, North Korea, China, Russia, they are all fighting the enemy of mankind, and that is Western, globo-homo, Zionistic, whatever the hell you want to call it, Anglo-Judeo imperialism, all of it.
Yep.
So yes, exactly that. Boeing E-4 doing maneuvers last week over my head. Oh, I used to work on E-4 Bravos. Touch and goes. That's Lean Air. Make sure you spit on it. No, don't. Hit that like button like a Shahed drone. Shahed drone. I heard Turkey was helping the U.S. and Israel with. I'm sure they are. They're probably they're probably required to. Honestly. Oh, we could have the Duran on our show. They're friends of the show.
We should.
We'll contact them. We'll contact the Duran and see what they're up to. I'm sure they're super busy as well. But we'll try to do a collaboration. We'll try to get more collaborations for you guys with some of your favorite streamers. There's very few people we don't get along with. So if you ask, chances are Chris has probably hung out with them or I've argued with them in a space and we can get them on the show. So just any suggestions, guys, we will take into consideration. No worries. Even if we don't like them, I don't care. I'll bring somebody I don't like on the show.
Why not?
Again, show your support for the drones
and everyone.
Russian-Iranian alliance.
Everyone, go to YouTube and subscribe if you haven't.
Link. Where's your link? Is it in the banners? No.
I'm putting it in. Right now. Hold on. Don't rush me. Oh my God.
I'm Russian.
Okay, here. There it is. Go like, subscribe.
Yes, guys, go to Chris's account. Make sure you show support there. If you want to do, when you do watch his show, if you want to send super chats, send them directly to Chris, not to DDG, because then I got to deal with him begging for money and the whole thing.
Yeah, of course. I got to go to her like a classic Iranian family member. My dear, my love, my sweet, my liver. Can I have some money?
Can I have some money? I am Iranian. Okay, guys. Chris is taking the night off. I don't know why. Hezbollah.
We have this one. So I figured we'll go on these.
Chris is taking the night off since Iran and Hezbollah are working overtime. You like Scott from Calibrated? He's been on the show. We'll bring him back on. We love Scott. You guys, fun fact, Scott helped me start DD Geopolitics with our producer. That is a fun fact. Calibrated is a very good friend of the show. Wish him the most success. Guys, if you don't follow Calibrated, excellent, very non-biased and funny analysis of technical stuff, the battlefronts, the gear, and all of that stuff. But other than that, we'll see you guys on our Sunday show, Extravaganza. And I'll try to get chapter 7 of Yahweh to Zion ready for you guys in the next couple days.
Perfect. Lots of love, Yassas, Chodafis, and remember, stay sharp.
All right, guys. Talk to you soon.